There is a small piece of wood which is designed in my study table to keep my legs on. When I was young and tiny, I used to fit right in there and sit there. This used to be my crying spot. I crouched under there, pulled up my chair so that no one could see me as I wept in the silent darkness. Mind you, at this time, I was 7. Bullying is defined in the Oxford Dictionary as the action of a person to intimidate or frighten a weaker person. Now, what makes this person weak? Is it their behavior or how they talk? In reality, the person becomes weak through no fault of the bully. The victim is so self-conscious of how they are inferior to that person that they become vulnerable and unknowingly let themselves be used in the hopes of becoming as superior as them. When I was in first grade, there was this group of children who always seemed so fancy to me because they always seemed to have the trendiest pencil boxes or the prettiest colors of water bottles. I tried to enter their group because I too wanted to be one of the people who possessed all the fancy things that they did. They saw the desperate attempts I made and decided to make me work for it. They made me fill their water bottles, sharpen their pencils, and made me believe that everyone who wanted to be my friend outside their group wanted to really see me fail. Every day, when I was made to watch them play and I wasn't allowed to play with them, made me sadder by the minute. I didn't talk to my family members about it, fearing that they might think of me as a loser or worse, a loner. This also affected how I talked to others. And once I realized what this group was doing to me and how rude I was to others, I decided to mend my ways. I talked to the people outside this group and realized how much better it felt talking to them because they didn't talk in the demeaning tone that the group members always did in. Then came second grade, when I was determined not to let any bully ruin my happiness. I made a friend the first day, let's call her X, who in the later months started turning into my best friend. I always walked with her, included her in any game I was playing, and helped her with anything she had difficulty with. I felt the feelings and actions were mutual until one day they weren't. Since we were small kids, we had a dispersal room where parents or guardians had to come and sign on a sheet to collect their word. One day, out of the blue, X's mother pulls me out of the room and started shouting at me at how I used to trouble her daughter and fight with her all the time. I just expected X to speak up and say how all the allegations are false, but she just stood there, acting all innocent. These bouts of shouting and alleged attempts at making me believe I made her daughter cry every night went on for a few months. The first few times, I was too stunned to speak of anything because I couldn't understand why X, being my so-called best friend, was saying such bad things about me. One day, I got so fed up and quite honestly scared that I hid behind one of the pillars in the corridors. I felt that her mother might have gone after some time, but then I saw her, piercing her eyes right through me. I was given the scolding of a lifetime, the type of scolding that even my own parents hadn't given to me. I don't even remember now why I was being scolded because I was too busy wailing my eyes out as I had had seriously enough of it now. After a while, when my mother came to pick me up, she saw how red my eyes were after I had cried for about 15 minutes straight without stopping. I thank my mother to this date because whatever she did or whomever she talked to, I didn't have trouble from X or her mother ever again. To this date, I wonder if she thinks to herself of how evil the actions she and her mother took towards me were. Though those 2 instances of bullying were not too severe, they left a mark in my life that I can never forget. Through those experiences, I got social anxiety, which made me question every single friendship I made in the future. Questions like, will this person do the exact same things she did? Or is this group going to make me feel as excluded as they did? Kept on hovering in my mind whenever I got close to someone. The girl who could once go out and talk to everyone and knew almost everybody was now someone who was happy to be skipping events and avoiding people so that they don't make interactions. I was so scared to make a best friend, let alone new friends, because I thought I probably wasn't good enough or I'd go through those same situations all over again. As a kid, you're supposed to go out, make friends, be cheerful, and not care about what you do. But after these instances, I was changed into this stuck-up individual who never got out of her comfort zone and was always a closed book. Whenever I tried to approach someone with something or told them something, there were a million scenarios that I pictured in my head of how things would go wrong. Whenever I told someone I had social anxiety, they would just laugh and say, there's no such thing as social anxiety, which would make me all the more upset, forcing me to close more doors to others. One day, I saw the whole group of people who had bullied me throughout first as well as the second grade, laughing and whiling away their times, enjoying themselves. This made me furious beyond words. How could they have such a good time putting me in this depressed state I was in? I was first tempted to opt for revenge, but after some pondering, I thought that the best course of action would be a 180-degree spin to my social life and to live my life the happy way it was before all these people came into it. The beginning of 8th grade is when I decided to make amends. I socialized even though I was still afraid of what people thought of me. But I decided to put all those millions of negative thoughts behind me and focus on that one positive voice telling me, what if this actually goes well? This past year, I have tried my level best to move on and make better acquaintances along the way. Through these experiences, I have learned that no matter the deeds you do, good or bad, there will always be people in the world who dislike you. My mantra is to always flash a smile at people, because no matter how bad a day a person might be having, that one smile, that one pat on the back might actually make the day a lot better. The part of me that went through these experiences is never going to go away, but indulging myself into self-humor is one of the best ways to cope, in my opinion. As Benjamin Disraeli once said, courage is fire and bullying is smoke. All I wish to say is never lose hope on yourself and never let anyone make you feel worthless. It might just be that they're insecure of all the wonders you will do if you just spread your wings and fly high. As someone rightly said, have courage and be kind, because where there is kindness, there is goodness, and where there is goodness, there is magic. Thank you.